Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Education and asks, does she understand and stand by all statements she's made on national standards?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Supplementary question. Does she stand by her statement that all teachers who are using ASTIL or PAT need to do is, quote, keep doing what you're doing, we don't want to change, we're happy for you to continue using those current assessment techniques? And if so, can she explain exactly how those teachers will report against the new standards if they just keep doing what they're doing?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, I'm unaware of where the member has got that quote from, but certainly the intent of the National Standards Policy is that teachers are able to continue using the current assessment tools like PATs and ASTIL and STAR that they are currently using in schools. And they will be required to report against the national standards to parents in plain English from this year.
Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Speaker, I know this is unusual and you're not very happy when people do this, but I do seek leave to table a Media Monitor transcript of the Radio New Zealand on the 24th of January this year to indicate to the Minister where she said that.
Order. I've made a ruling that recent media transcripts cannot be. I won't seek leave to table in the House, and I must stick with that. I think the members made his point that he's established where the statement was made. Does the member have a supplementary question? The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
How will teachers who keep on doing what they're doing, as the Minister indicated they could in a radio report in January, translate that to national standards without doing anything else?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'd say to the member that throughout this country, our teachers are continuing to do what they're doing. They're telling me that when they unpack the national standards, in fact, it is business as usual. They will keep doing the assessment. They will keep doing the assessment in their schools that they are currently doing. But there are a number of schools, a large number of schools, who aren't using assessment techniques effectively. And those teachers will have to make some changes.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Supplementary question. If teachers just keep doing what they're doing, as the Minister says they can, what additional information will be available to parents?
The Honourable Anne point of order, the Honourable
I think you know what my point of order is, Mr. Speaker. The interjection from the Minister of Finance asking why you aren't on the bus.
The member makes order. A point of order has been raised, and it is fair that members should not be interjecting. Why aren't you referring to the Speaker on the bus? Some members may wish there was on the bus, but in fact they mustn't do that. The Honourable Trevor Mallard is asking a supplementary question.
Speaker.
Okay, the Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, the national standards are a tool to identify children who aren't progressing as they should be against reading, writing and maths in schools. They will enable teachers to identify the children, provide good, clear information to their parents so that they can change what happens in the classroom and what happens in the home. Many teachers are in fact already doing this, but not all of them. And in fact the ERO report from 2007 showed that almost half the schools weren't doing this. What I don't understand, there are two things I don't understand about national standards. Two things. Right? The first is why, instead of trying to bully me in the House, why Mr. Mallard and the Labour Party...
Order. I'm on my feet and there will be silence. I realise there's some tense feeling over this issue, but members must not be accused of bullying each other in the House, because I wouldn't tolerate that. If the Honourable Minister hasn't finished her answer, I will
continue without that comment. Why Mr. Mallard and the Labour Party aren't getting behind the 150,000 children who are failing in our schools now, and why Mr Mallard and the Labour Party aren't supporting the parents.
Now look, order, I'm on my feet and there will be no further comment. So the mouth was operating and no sound was coming out. Now look, the Minister is answering questions, not asking questions, and she was proceeding there when I allowed her to continue to ask. Why is the Labour Party not doing this, not doing that? That's not the role of the Minister. The Minister's role is to answer questions. And I think
Point of order?
Point of order, the Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, if you look at the primary question, it asks me what I understand. If I understand and stand by all my statements, I'm explaining to the member I'm admitting to the member there are a couple of things that I don't understand.
Order. There'll be silence. Order. That's not a valid point of order at all. The member's saying to debate the issues, and that is not. It is the member, the Honourable Trevor Mallard, has the right to ask this question, and the Minister's job is to answer it. And does the Honourable Trevor Mallard have any further supplementaries? No, I've ruled that she's finished answering the question. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Supplement.
Order, I've called the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
He's doing a runner.
Order, I've called the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Too embarrassed to stay.
The member will resume his seat. Now, I'm getting a little tired of some of the interjection. I've been pretty patient today, but the member was right beside an open microphone when he made that interjection. I won't tolerate that further. The Honourable Trevor Mallard, please ask a supplementary question, or the member may lose it. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
What will she say to parents who have high-quality reports now using Astle and will in the future be given lower-quality reports using her national standards, which have much less information on them as to the next steps for their children?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, schools can provide parents with as much information as they would like, as long as they report to parents against progress against the national standards. That's a stupid question.
Louise Upston. Louise Upston.
Mr Speaker, supplementary question to the Minister of Education. What statements has she seen which suggest that national standards in literacy are needed?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, I've seen a newsletter from the member who asked the primary question. He talks about a bus tour, a union bus tour that he went on in the Deep South. The newsletter sent out from Labour Party email address and reveals that he can't even spell the word Invercargill correctly. So I've got a copy of the reading and writing national standards. I'm prepared to provide them to the member so he can do some homework.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard. Order, I've called the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Will the Minister now tell the House what is the added value to parents who are already receiving a quality Astle report and teachers are forced to prepare something which is not as good based on her standards?
Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, schools will continue to give parents as much information as they are currently doing if they're producing Astle. However, you only have to talk to the hundreds of thousands of parents across this country who support the introduction of national standards to know that they want better information from their schools about how their children are doing. They're hungry for that information and they back this government that's introducing national standards.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, it was, and I think you understand the question, it was a relatively simple question as to added value to a particular group of parents who are already getting Astle. That question was not addressed or answered.
Speaking the point of order, the Honourable Antolli.
Mr Speaker, right at the beginning of my answer, I did address that question. Schools can continue to give that group of parents that information.